Hey, it's Mike. Back on the Rambler again. Going to be trying to tackle the exhaust a little bit. We'll see what we can make out of it. Pretty tight. We're going to have some challenges, I'm sure. Just not wasting any time. Get you down underneath the car and we'll take a look and see what it is we're working with. I'll take one of these collectors with me. Okay. All right, so we got our headers coming out. They're nicely tucked up there, but one of the things that's going to be an issue is the getting around our cross member here. You see when we put one of our collectors up, it makes contact there. So I'm just gonna lop these off, keep the flanges, and start seeing what fits and what doesn't. All right, don't always trust myself to make good cuts with the zip. I don't have a big old pipe cutter for that, but what I did pick up, one of these tailpipe cutters from the old Harbor Freight, and we're gonna give this a try. See how it works. Maybe it's easy, maybe it's not. If it doesn't work, then I guess we'll take it back and bitch at them. But let's give it a quick go here. If this pipe was stationary, it would probably work like a hot damn. And we're getting somewhere. Well, it's okay. We'll see how it does on the next one, now that I know what I'm doing. Yeah, be careful not to squeeze too hard on this. It's making a dimple there where this wheel whoop, digs right in there. Well, I'm cut pretty nice. Just be careful not to squeeze too hard when you start. Seems like I ought to be doing a good job. I guess we'll try it on some more pipes as we go along. Probably we'll add some lubrication along the way. And if they'll come out like that, I think I'll be happy. All right, I got a few of these bends in a pack, so I think what I'm going to try first is a 45. I'm going to cut an end off here as close to the bend as I can and see how that fits for us underneath. All right, here's a little bit of what I got so far. I got both flanges cleaned up, and I got a 45 cut down for each side. These are the same. I got them clocked here and marked from underneath the car, and I'm just going to do a couple of tack welds on the flanges here just to keep it together and help make the rest of the fitment a little easier. so far so good. Got the right side, left side. Now that left side is far enough over that I can use a full length 45, and that puts it right where I want it. See if we can demo them straight. This is something that's a little tough getting in there, isn't it? So this pipe here fits real nice. I'm gonna get that marked up, and that's just gonna come straight down the car right where I think it ought to. I might put my slip yoke in and give it a little twisty turny. Make sure we're not going to be hitting our pipe on our way by the drive shaft. The 45 coming off of this one will have to be a little bit shorter, but no big deal. Let's keep on going. All right, been fiddling around here. So the only way you're gonna be able to tell where it is that you're headed when you're dealing with a bunch of different angles is if you put a long piece on your angle, and then when you're lining up your angle, the end of the pipe down at the far end is going to tell you where you're actually pointed. So we're going to point the far end of the pipe height-wise, side to side, so that the gap at the angled pieces closes up and it's a nice joint. And if it's not pointing right where we want it to, then we can rotate the angle around itself a little bit to get the back end to point where we want. So I've got this one pretty well dialed, I think, and I'm gonna come up here to the front, get that lined up, give it a tack weld, and then I can remove this long pipe, and that'll be my, I guess that'll be my collector flange there, and then we can keep on building the other side. All right, moving ahead quite nice. Got our two collector pieces welded up here. Got one for the left, one for the right. What I'm gonna do next is, both of these pieces have a slip joint at the end, but I want to turn that around the other direction. So just like laying shingles, you want everything, all the gases and such, to flow nice. So I'm going to cut this slip joint off. That way the pipe coming next can slip over the top, and that way we got a nice smooth flow in there. All I'm going to do is hold this muffler up in place. These glass packs are super long, so I'm just going to hold this in place about where I feel it ought to go, and then I'm going to mark the length of tube down here, cut that off, and then this long tube and this muffler will become an assembly. I'm thinking I don't know if I really want it up there around the spinny bits. There's plenty of space, that's for sure. let's put the muffler here where it starts to open up. There's plenty of room down there at the far end, and if I need to get it shorter, I can, but I cannot afford to cut it short. So I'm going to start with that there and see how that does. Now to match up the other side, should be a pretty simple job because I can just measure from the, well, I guess I can't take anything for granted. We'll figure that out once I get this side done. I wish there was a better way to get video underneath here where we can see, but I think what we get is starting to come together okay. Got a hanger made up there. Had to modify that a little bit to shorten it up, but that's no big deal. Just cut some new holes in the rubber and in the bracket, and was able to bend up a piece of steel to go around the exhaust pipe. Got it clamped there and tack welded in place. Let's see how we come around, and then we'll start our exit. I've got the gas tank in place. You can see it there, and I've started to get that pipe out the back lined up where I think it ought to go. Again, got another hanger down there at the end, which is shortened up a couple inches. Just now trying to figure out if the exit's going to be high enough or not, but we'll take a peek. Don't want the exhaust to hang too low. All right, I don't know what that is. And we're not up against the I have a tape measure all the time except for when I need it. So bumper's in place just as a reference. Okay, so we're 2.5 inches low there, and I still have an inch or so here for a bracket, which might work out okay. I may even take the bottom of this hanger and weld directly to the exhaust pipe and really get it, you know, tucked up in here. So now we're only an inch or two below the bumper, and I think that actually might be what I'm going to end up doing, is just weld directly to the pipe and then bend it up a little bit, contour it. All right, got the passenger side all welded up, actually. So here's my big old, not much clearance down here, but not much light. Well, we already know what the front looks like, okay? Come down, we hit our muffler. This clamp doesn't really do too much for that. We got our bracket up there. Our hanger up and over. the rear end, and then filing out the back. If we can get over there. Let me see how we have a slip joint and then straight out the back there. So, make no mistake, this job is terrible. It's not fun. And in that side alone, I've got 8 or 10 hours. A lot of that's because I don't do exhaust every day. And the second one being is you got to take your time and make sure that the exhaust is coming out the back where you want it. Because if you rush it and you get out of hand, it can go off crooked or in some direction that you don't want it to be. And that's not a good thing. So most of that time is really just spent down there laying, thinking about it, and doing check after check, measurements, whole number of things. But yeah, this job's no fun. I'm gonna get on the driver's side, and hopefully that goes a little bit smoother now that I kind of have an idea of what that shape is gonna look like. Man, what a job and what a mess. I'm telling you. Not my favorite stuff in the world, but it's got to be done. You see, we're looking pretty good, I think. Tried to match up the mufflers as much as possible, and you know, I think the long tubes are the look. I think I'm gonna leave them like that. We'll just run with it, right? We'll see what happens. I think I got them fairly even. Coming out, I'll be happy enough with it for the short term. In all honesty, the only reason I'm doing exhaust right now on this car is just trying to be polite to the neighbors when I fire this thing up for the first time. Because I do have to do a break-in, and I don't think they'll appreciate 20 or 30 minutes of open header noise. So we'll see how long this exhaust system lasts. It may last for a long time. I may decide that some point down the road I'll get a nice bent up exhaust from a shop, but until then, we'll leave it here.